We've currently got a special offer live now on poodlecfb.com for the launch of College Football 26. Use code KICKOFF, all caps, for $50 off the annual plan, or code KICKOFF 2025 for $5 off the monthly plan. You'll unlock exclusive spreadsheets, in-depth info, and our members-only Discord. Join hundreds of members in the fastest-growing CFB 26 community out there. Don't miss out and sign up now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the most important thing you need to know when recruiting. Guys, we're running a special deal right now. If you use code FLASH, capital F, you'll get $65 off the annual plan. If you use code FLASH 2025, capital F, you get $7 off the monthly plan. This is the best deal so far of CFB 26. It's a grandfathered in deal, so if you lock this in, you get to keep this deal for the remainder of the lifetime of your membership. Check it out, guys. We just launched Player Calculator V1, which allows you to input your archetype, your skill points, and the level of your player, and it shows you exactly how long it'll take them to grow and how many skill points they need. It'll show you the fastest versus slowest growing archetypes. We launched our master spreadsheet, which has thousands of lines of data over multiple tabs. We have a lot of other tools over there that you guys want to check out. Want to be a part of the best discussions in the best community in CFB right now? Make sure to check it out, guys. The game got patched multiple times this week based off of testing and data that we have over there in poodlecfb.com. So come be a part of it. Sign up now. Use code FLASH or code FLASH 2025. So guys, let's get into it. So we're going to start with a program. I'm going to pick USC for this, and I'll tell you guys as we go through the video exactly why I'm choosing this team. It has nothing to do with the eliteness of this team. It just shows a very good difference for you guys to understand in this test of what changes depending on something very specific in this game that last year wasn't as important to me, but this year specifically makes a huge difference. And there's a lot of things that go into this. So let's start with the coach. Let's go to next. We're going to choose a USC for the purposes of this. Like I said, let's go to 4-star. There we go. Let's go to head coach. Let's start with the custom coach. That's what a lot of people are doing, right? Gonna go custom coach. We can go motivator, recruiter. Your choice. Does not, I'm just doing this for the purpose of this video. I'm going motivator. Does not matter. So let's go through and let's get into our team and go through a few things. So last year with recruiting, elite recruiter bullied everyone. It really was just the name of the game, but this year things have changed. Proximity bonus has changed a lot of things in this game. Dynamic deal breakers have changed a lot of things in this game. The game as a whole is just a little bit different from the recruiting standpoint, but there's one thing that really just stands true, and a lot of you guys may not realize why. So when you guys open up the game and you go to recruit, the first thing you do on any new dynasty is you go to this is what everyone does. You go right here and you go filter and see where you are. So you go right to 5 stars, like, can I compete for them? And you filter and you realize second, third, 5th, 10th, you're like, ooh, I'm probably not gonna be much of a fight in the 5-star battle this year. Then you go to 4 stars, you're like, okay, this is fine. This is fine. I'm in first for quite a bunch. I'm second. Good 4-star program. That makes sense, right? But you realize your access to recruits can be a little bit different. So the reason you get early access to recruits is based on pipelines. And again, there's a lot more here, so just stay with me. The reason you get access to a lot more recruits is based on your pipelines. So one of the first things is when choosing your pipeline for your team, it is very, very, very important because essentially, as you guys are going to see, the pipelines where you have you're in first for are usually going to be pipelines where I'm on 5-star still. Here, when you go to, it's usually pipelines that are 5. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to win the recruit. It doesn't mean any of that. But what matters is a few things that you can do. By having a 5-tier pipeline, or a 3 or a 4, what matters here is 2 things. First, you get good starting interest, which means you get increased access to more recruits because you're gonna have a higher starting interest. It means you're more likely gonna try to fight for them because you know you're at a good starting point, which also means you're gonna scare people away. A lot of people are gonna see you with these big leads come in and be like, USC's probably got that. Or one big week after a scholarship with a tier 5 pipeline and you get that huge boost because you're a tier 5 and you scare people away. This leads to some more rug pulls. It leads to a safer recruiting class because you can confidently say you have a good chance of winning this guy. But it also means in a lot of likelihoods, especially if you check their proximity, like these guys are in San Diego, Lawndale, Temecula, all these guys are going to be 10-point visits for me, which means people are also going to be scared to fight you in this pipeline because Cali's kind of its own little separate area on it's like on its own little island, feels like, in recruiting. All the SEC teams are so far. So these are all things to consider when you're focusing on your pipelines, but there is something bigger at play here. And this is with a custom coach. Something's bigger at play. So I'm going to switch over to a new team to show you something else here. Well, a new setup to show you something else here that you really want to be focusing on. So go back, screenshot that if you need to. Take a look at all the recruits we had access to and see how things are going to change with another team, such as you guys see, or not another coach setup, which is going to be, let's go to USC again. And now with USC, we're going to switch our coach to Lincoln Riley. Now you may be saying, oh, well, that's obvious. It's a better coach. It has nothing to do with the level of the coach. It has to do with what packages the coach has. And I'm going to show you very, very key things. It has nothing to do with recruiter. Nothing at all to do with recruiter. when setting this up. But remember, with 5 stars, we weren't going to compete for any 5 stars at all, like probably if any at all. And you're going to see here how this does change with the switch over to Lincoln Riley. Let's go to our prospect board. Let's go to 5 stars. And now you're going to see this. Look at our prospect board increased. It increased by, I'd say, at least double, maybe a little bit more in terms of people on your board. You have 3 first guys now, some being from Texas. You have increased access to the Nevada pipeline. You have now these guys all the way up on your board, and you have even some that are open, but you're probably pretty close on. Now let's go to 4 stars. Remember, we had like about a page of first. That's probably still normal. Now we have 3 pages of first, 4 pages of first. Look at all those recruits you have access to. Now, the reason this works so well for a school like USC, and I'm gonna get into why, is because, and this is why I love USC as a pick this year. USC, possibly like a UCal or a USC UCLA, Oregon, Washington. While I don't love Oregon, it's the same kind of thing as you're in your own little bubble. So if you could do what I'm about to show you guys, you kind of secure your bubble, and it's probably the easiest way to get a top 5 recruiting class is like a team like USC with this. So let's go back to the coach. I'm going to show you guys what really is doing this. And it's not recruiter. It's going to actually be something that most people forget to think about. And I'm going to go into a lot of things here. So don't skip off this video until you hear every bit of this, because there's a lot more that goes into this beyond just this. And that's Program Builder. Program Builder is quite literally one of the greatest packages now, especially with the way this game is built, where you want to be getting local guys in, plus utilizing your pipeline for bonuses. So Program Builder, Relationship Builder, upgrade your school's best 2 pipelines by 1 tier, upgrade your school's 5 best pipelines by 1 tier, and upgrade your school's worst pipelines, your 5 worst by 1 tier. Upgrading your pipelines actually brings you in greater starting interest and gives you more access to recruits. So by having this maxed out and then having strong roots maxed out, which boosts your primary pipeline and boosts your starting interest, and if you get hometown discount, which is the only thing he's missing, and again, we purchased this, you're right there for a guy like Lincoln Riley, you now have this huge net of players, which is huge because a lot of other teams don't have that. So like, let's say you're one team, you're going to look at like 20 guys, like these are the guys I want to go in on. Another school might have 5, another school might have 7. You have 50. You just saw like 50 guys in first, plus the 5 stars you can go in on. So you can easily just cherry pick everyone that's going to be easy for you. Versus another school where quite literally like these are the guys you can go for. There's like 20 guys that have you on their board. You're probably only going to win about 10 or maybe 7 of them. School like USC, I can just cherry pick all the easiest ones. I'm in a league right now, an online league, where I'm about to secure about 24 4 stars as USC with a custom coach and with a 2-week delay because I joined late on the league and I missed the scouting phase and the week 0 phase. So that's how good USC could be, because they're in that proximity remoteness where they have their own area of players that no one else could really contend for. Now imagine if I had Lincoln Riley, how much crazier that could have been. It's like a glitch, like not a glitch, but it's like the easiest, most best method for getting a top 5 class is picking a remote school and then getting Program Builder on them. Easiest way to do it, especially if the head coach starts with it. Some of the ones that are in contention for me are like Nebraska's head coach, Matt Rule. Lincoln Riley is another great one. And there's a few good schools that have it, but those are just 2 coaches that were really on my radar for it. But this is going to be the one. Now, you can even make this better. If you want to be an absolute pipeline beast, you get these 2 things filled out. Then you want to come over to Talent Developer, and on Tier 4, boost the pipeline bonus, which I'm going to get rid of my webcam for a second for you guys. Boost the pipeline bonus. So you can counteract, you can complement Home Sweet Home with this right here, which is hometown discount, and now you're gonna be able to maximize that. So if you get a school that has remoteness like USC, and you have all these guys that basically are exclusively to you, and people are gonna have to really fight for, then you get the bonuses on them, you basically won't lose anyone in your hometown. So those are like a safe 15 to 20 recruits every year in the 5 and 4 star category. This obviously works for other schools like Bama and stuff, which you can get really OP. You just still have more competition because people knew you can do it too. In USC, basically no one else can do this to you except the UCLA or a Cal, but you're going to be better than those schools inherently based on USC's prestige and everything. So you're not really going to have a problem with them unless they build it up to a 5 star. And then even in Recruiter, you can go a step further and you can try to get packages that increase your starting interest here too. I don't really recommend it. And then this one too, increase weekly recruiting hours, all that stuff helps with it. But really what you're going for is going to be those pipeline bonuses and how much they actually can help you when doing this. And I mean, strategies, you can take it a step further and try to boost your complimentary visits and do all that. But really the most important thing in this game, quite literally for me, is like I'm speed running Program Builder. That makes such a huge difference. And I'm gonna show you guys where this applies to a smaller school or a school where you might want to build more, because this is something that people have been commenting on, and there's a way to kind of dual this for a smaller school. So a school that I kind of want to give you an example of is when you guys played this game, especially last year and now as you're playing it this year, you may have noticed something. Bama has a 5 star. Ole Miss is a 5 star. These schools are just like huge. They have so many pipelines. Like when they're 5 stars, they just feel insane. But then you could take a school like Akron to a 5-star, and they're like, they just don't hit the same. Like, they're not recruiting the same. It's Program Builder. Program Builder is the difference here. So let's take a school like Colorado. It's a school that I'm gonna be looking for. I know they're not the smallest team, but a school like Colorado is a school like, they have potential, but if you built them to a 5-star, they won't feel like it. And let me show you what I mean. Let's take Dion here, which is Kirkpatrick. Let's take Dion. Dion has elite recruiter built in. He's a great recruiter in this game. He has great packages for it. Inherently, he should be an elite recruiter right off rip. So if you were to choose a school like Colorado, you might be saying to yourself, like, oh my God, this is easy. He has elite recruiter built in. Let's take a look at what his packages are, and you're gonna say this should be really easy. So let's go look at his packages. He has elite recruiter built in. He has talent developer, motivator. He has some packages. Great starting point. He should easily be able to recruit, right? But he doesn't have program builder or CEO. So then we come over to our board, and let's go look at what Colorado has access to. And take a look at this, and you're going to see with these 5-stars here, they basically can't fight for any 5-stars at all. But then you're saying you have elite recruiter, but you're not going to. You don't have enough there yet to do it. Elite recruiter is great to bully once you have the ideal coach build, which includes program builder. Now let's look at 4-stars. We are on first for 3 boards, and that's basically it. So basically, if you were to start a new program with Colorado, you'd be able to compete for about these 3 guys, have a chance at these, and basically get 0 5-stars. You would suffer in recruiting for so many years despite having elite recruiter. And that's what's so interesting about a team like Colorado, or a team that's like not an SEC team, like not a Southern type team, not a West Coast. There's teams where you might take like a Akron, an Ohio type team. You may take Colorado. You may take a team like Arizona, and you're like somewhere in the middle of all these places, and you need a way to buff these programs, and you're gonna get them to a 5-star. You win a lot of games, you build them up, but they're never gonna out recruit Bama or LSU or A&M. They're never gonna feel like those schools. They're never gonna have that prowess, the pipeline. So the beauty of program builder is upgrading those pipelines, and that's what program builder is. It builds your program. You need program builder, especially on small schools, to maximize and get them to the level of Bama. Now, if you have a team like Bama and you do this, you get them above the level of Bama, and that's where it gets really crazy. But program builder is really the key to this game. I am not straying from it. Those 2 packages that I showed you in program builder, those 2 trees, absolutely not straying from. You definitely need them. If you were to get program builder and Dion plus his elite recruiter, you would just see all these recruits, and then you could out bully them because you have the good starting point plus the elite recruiter. And that's what's so key this year. And I hope a lot of you guys are kind of understanding where I'm going with this. And now where this really takes a step forward is going to be when creating your coach. So when you do create a custom coach, you want to set yourself up for future success. And that starts with when you create a coach, picking the right pipeline. So everyone asks me all day, this is a big thing in the poodlecfb.com chat. Everyone all day just asks me, what coach? And that's kind of like been like my job all week, it feels like. But you want to be picking a specific coach. So let's choose a team like LSU, for example. Just start with the head coach, create new. When you're creating a new head coach, you have the option to choose your pipeline. Now, there's a few ways to go about this, and I'm going to call it the non-program builder way and the program builder way. So when you choose your pipeline, essentially upgrades that one pipeline by a tier, theoretically, right? Because then when you get program builder, you get an extra bonus on it. So you can go ahead and choose your best one, or you could choose one of your worst ones. For me, since I'm only going program builder, what I like to do is take one that I could build. So let's just say as LSU, you have East Texas at a 5-star. So you don't need that one. You have Louisiana as a 5-star. Don't use that one because they're already at a 5-star. They can't go any higher. But let's say you want to get into Metro Atlanta. I believe Metro Atlanta on LSU is a 2-star pipeline. And if you want to test these things out, there's 2 ways to do it. You can go on each program one by one, and you can just look at what their grades are on the recruiting screen. Or if you sign up for poodlecfb.com, we do have our master spreadsheet, which includes like 12 pages of thousands of Excel lines. And one of the pages are every school's pipeline grade, their pipeline rank, their strength, and what each school has for their pipelines. And you can quickly see, like, if you're looking at what team to choose or what your team is, you can go right to LSU on there, and you can look and say, okay, Metro Atlanta's a 2-star pipeline. So if I give them this boost, if I choose Metro Atlanta as my pipeline, and then I go to Program Builder and I upgrade my worst 5, that goes up to a 3. With this, it goes up to a 4. And essentially, you have a 4 5-star Atlanta pipeline. And now you can compete in Georgia to a similar extent that Georgia can. And you're close enough to almost get those cheap visits in there. And now you're getting the starting interest that Georgia gets for their own recruits. That's the first thing. But then if you're a school like Colorado that has no 5 stars, you're running a different race here. And that's why they suck off rip for getting these things. So you could also choose their best one. But that's why picking this pipeline is so important. It essentially upgrades the one pipeline you're choosing by 1. So it's very important for you to make sure you make this decision properly. You can also introduce a new one. You could just go ahead and pick, let's say you wanted the Nevada pipeline in there. And again, on our spreadsheet on poodlecfb.com, we do have a portion that shows you what the top rated pipelines were from last year. Like it was like East Texas, Southern California, and a few others that were up there. And you could see like which ones you probably want to build up in. Keep in mind, proximity to your school matters. I mean, you don't want to be Syracuse and do the Southern California pipeline because you're just not going to compete with them over there with the 40-point visits. It's going to be tough. But guys, that basically wraps up the video. I hope you guys really saw the prowess of what Program Builder does for you this year. That's why it's my elite coach build, my ideal coach build, and that's why it needs to stay, whether you're a big school or a small school. It does a huge thing, and that's why Program Builder, like Brian Kelly, when he started an LSU franchise or Dynasty, you have pages of first place recruits. That's why. Super huge this year. Pipelines really took a step forward this year with how to utilize them, especially if you build up your coach the right way, guys. But that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, check out poodlecfb.com. Use code KICKOFF, all caps, for $50 off the annual plan. Use code KICKOFF 2025, all caps, for $5 off the monthly plan. Make sure to check it out. Gain access to all our spreadsheets. We just launched our player calculator V1, which is going to allow you to put in your current player, their overall, their archetype, and I'll show you exactly how many skill points they need left to upgrade, and you can kind of calculate like what their potential will be over 3 to 4 seasons or whatever you have left with them. We also have our coach calculator, among many other things, guys, but make sure to check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Peace.